I am excited about today's video because I'm going to be stamping on the fly, which is one of my favorite things to do. I have an idea for a card in my head and I'm just putting the camera on and I'm going to film it, and you'll get to see my creative process, and it's always fun to see how the card turns out in the end. So I am excited because I am also using brand new product from Stampin' Up, available July 6th, which is tomorrow, through our online exclusive. So these products are not in our catalogs. They won't be in our catalogs. They're only available online, and some of them are only available while supplies last. Some things will be brought back, but we don't know which. So if you fall in love with today's products, I really encourage you to get them quick. Get them tomorrow. Okay, so I'm using the Horse and Sleigh stamp set. This has beautiful images, very vintagey. If you love vintage, which I do, you're gonna love this. And the dies are awesome. And wait until you see the 6x6 designer series paper. I'm gonna show that to you in today's video as well. So without further ado, let's start stamping. Here is the product I'm using on today's cards. I'm really excited about this. The Horse and Sleigh, which is the stamp set, and it has the coordinating dies, and I love the vintage feel of this. And wait until I show you all the designer series paper that you can get as part of this suite. So before I show you all the paper, very important to know how to find these products and when they become available and how long they will be available. These are part of our online exclusive with Stampin' Up, and it begins July 6th. I'll put the link in the description down below, and it's pretty much a first come first serve with no guarantee that once they're gone they're coming back. All right, so I've shown you the horse set, which I love. You guys, there are so many patterns in this one 6x6 stack of designer series paper. So if you're like me, if you love vintage, you're gonna love this. But look at the back. It's beautiful wood grain. There is such a variety of patterns in this paper. It's crazy good, crazy exciting. Look at this. And the back, oh my goodness. This would be great masculine cards. There are so many beautiful patterns in this stack of designer series paper that I actually plan on framing some of them and making like a Christmas collage on the wall for the holiday season. They're that beautiful, and this is one of the patterns I plan on using. Then we have this one. Isn't that pretty? More wood grain. You can never have too many wood grain patterns on your designer series paper. Look at this. So this is doing all the work, and you can stamp, color, and die cut your horse and sleigh. Stick it on after you cut this to size, of course, and add your sentiment. Talk about fast cards if you're mass producing for the holidays. Then we have this one. The colors in this are just beautiful. Oh, and that's gorgeous too. So exciting. Here's another one that I'd like to frame. It just makes me happy looking at that. It's such a peaceful scene, and I love the line art in this. Fun. This is cool. It looks like you're looking down on a snowy path. The little footsteps. Cute. Beautiful, beautiful. This one going down a little snowy hill. This is one of my favorites. Look at that with the little deer. I think I might use this on my first card that I'm going to demonstrate with you today. This one's gorgeous because I love the colors. That is just, that's great. Just beautiful. Look at this. This is one of those things that you're going to want to like really stock up on, because you're going to love it and you're going to use it so much. I mean, both sides are so gorgeous. Love that with the little gate. And then the last one right here. Do a lot with that. Can stamp the little rabbit, die cut it, put it on, add a sentiment, bing a bang a boom, card made. Look at that. And that would make a beautiful wintry birthday card, I have friends who have birthdays. In fact, one of my best friends, her birthday is December 24th, and I don't want to send her a Christmas card, but her birthday is winter, so so I love doing wintry birthday cards. So this is going to be great for not just Christmas, but obviously winter too. All right, that's that. Let's get on with the show. Okay, let me move my coffee so I don't spill it. I am going to, first of all, die cut this piece. And I'm going to use my stitched shape dies, and I'm pulling in the largest circle. And I'm going to cut that out. You can get a lot of cards out of this designer series paper just doing something like this. Gluing it on a card, bit of ribbon, a sentiment. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing on this card. So I think I'm going to get some pecan, I want to say pecan mudslide because that's one of my favorites. A Dairy Queen pecan pie, also one of my favorites, which I haven't had pecan pie for years. So let's bring in my paper trimmer. All right, I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. Cut it at 5 1/2. Okay, and I'm gonna bring my machine back in because I just decided I am going to emboss this front layer. Let me zoom out a bit close, aren't I? There we go. So I am just going to stick the front panel inside my timber folder, and I know that the middle of the card is along that fold, so let's get these out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna put my gray folder down for my 3D embossing and run that through. So I've got my texture. On page 143 of our annual catalog, you'll see the Real Red and burlap ribbon. That's what I'm pulling in now. Grab some of that. And my tear and tape. And I put that right across the center. So I'm not going to peel it off right off the bat because I'm going to layer this on first. So I'm going to put that along the top half of the tear and tape, and this one on the bottom half. Next, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to pop it on with the Stampin' Dimensional or 2 or 3. Cutting this piece down that we cut the circle to measure 5 1/4 by 4. Just kind of eyeballing it. So let's see, it's 5 1/4 and by 4, so we need to cut a bit more off. I'm cutting a piece of cardstock, some white cardstock, to measure also 4 by 5 1/4. Stamp and a Happy New Year, because the front I'm going to have wishing you a season of cheer. It's always exciting using new stamps for the first time. That never gets old. Alright. So because it's photopolymer, I'm using my piercing mat. So I get a nice crisp image, and I'm just going to line these two pieces up. While I have the red out, I'm going to stamp my sentiment for the front of the card. And I'm going to bring in one of those strips that I cut. This is one of the strips that came off the inside bit, right? Don't want to waste that. So I'm gonna stamp that right here. So I'm gonna glue this inside my card. We're not finished with the front yet. I'll come back to the front. That's gonna go on like that. Some more dimensionals. Okay, so there's the inside of the card done. Now let's finish the front. And now my sentiment. I'm gonna flag this. Not really sure yet where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna flag this end as well. So I'm just going up the center and then from the corner into the center on both sides. And I'm thinking I'm gonna put it here. So I put 1 dimensional in the center and 2 on each end, because the center is going to rest on here and that's already raised, right? So let's just bring this in. We're going to pull it down right there. And to finish this card, I'm going to pull in some iridescent rhinestones. What do you think? The only stamping was the sentiment on the outside and the inside. The designer series paper is doing all the work on this. Easy, easy. And of course you could just glue these pieces down. You don't have to do dimensionals, but I kind of liked the fact that it was a little bit raised. The next card is basically heat embossing. No coloring, just simple heat embossing, which never gets old. So I'm cutting cherry cobbler down at 5.5 by 8.5 and scoring at 4 1/4. And I'm going to take this piece and cut it down at 4 by 5 1/4. And take my little static bag, static resist, that's the word I'm trying to come up with, and let's pull my mat back in, and we are going to now stamp with the beautiful horse and sled image. So I'm going to put that down and grab my block. So this is block I that I'm using, and it fits on block I perfectly. So I thought I would stamp this in gold, but this would look very beautiful in white. So now I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to stamp and figure it out in a second. My sentiment, I'm going to use the same wishing you a season of cheer and stamp it right up in the center. That with my heat tool. Clear wink of Stella. So now it's got the beautiful shimmer. Can you see that? Now I'm bringing in my very best trio punch, and I'm going to punch each corner with this little decorative corner right here. So I'm just going to, there's the 2 notches to kind of line up the edges of your paper. I've got some of my foam adhesive strip here, so I'm just going to cut that up and use that. other fun thing that comes as part of this suite are these beautiful snowflake embellishments, and you've got the different colors. Looks like the copper, the gold, the white, the different sizes. These are called the adhesive backed snowflake assortment. So I'm going to pull in some gold. So there's two sheets here, so you get the big ones and then the smaller ones. And I'm just gonna pick one up, put it there, and grab a medium-sized one. And we'll put that one there, and then a little one. We'll just stick that one here. For the inside, I have a piece of basic white cardstock, cut it 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment for inside the card with cherry cobbler. Bring in my snowflakes again, and I'm going to put a medium one. If you want to bling this up a little bit, you can bring in some iridescent rhinestones and put one in the center of each snowflake. There's my completed card. It's very simple, but I also know there's a lot of you out there that don't have a whole lot of stamping supplies. So if you have, you know, your First Mark ink pad and some embossing powders, you can make a lot of cards really easily using this suite and some heat embossing. Okay, let's make a third card. I have so many ideas. Now, which paper do I want to use? I'm going to use this one. Okay, I'm going to cut this down 4 by 5 1/4. This card base, I'm going to use the Azure Afternoon, which is not one of the blues in this pattern Designer Series paper. I don't think it is anyhow, but I want a nice pop of color for this card. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay, my basic white that's going to go in the inside. So I've got my die cutting machine and some black cardstock. Let's put down my number 2 and one of my plates. And I'm going to cut out the sled and a couple of these trees. I'm going to cut out 3 trees, and I want the adhesive sheet behind them, so I'm just going to use this scrap paper and cut this out. So grab that die, and I'm going to cut out 3 of those. I'll zoom in. Look at how cool that's going to look. Dimensionals. For this sentiment, I'm going to stamp Sending Warmth Your Way, which is also part of the stamp set, and I'm going to ink that with the same color as the card base, which is Azure Afternoon. I'm just going to stamp it right on top here. Again, bringing in my favorite gems, the iridescent rhinestones, because I really like to bling up my cards. So there you have it, very simple, nice silhouette card. So I'm going to make a 4th card, and then I'm not stamping anymore because I won't get this video up in time, and I want you to see these and know about these new online stamp sets and products coming out tomorrow. So I am going to keep this next card stamps, ink, and paper. So I have my basic white. Now I'm going to put this aside and bring in just a piece of computer paper. I'm going to stamp that again, and I'm going to make a mask. I'm going to cut this out with the die, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my mask, and I am just going to, I know I have no sticky stuff. If you put some of this glue on, if you think ahead when you're masking, you can put some of this glue on, set it aside to dry, and when it gets tacky, it'll be repositionable, which is super cool. However, I did not do that this time. Okay, I'm taking this tree image next. I'm gonna take my garden green marker, and I'm just gonna go right on those branches with my marker. So this is the marker's direct to stamp technique. And then I'm going to take my early espresso and go up the middle. Whoops, as I go down the middle. So here's my early espresso marker. So I'm just going to go straight up. Okay, and if you want, you can go off into those branches a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So I am going to stamp right on top of this. So line that up. I'm going to stamp right down. I'm going to hold that down, lift off, and I'm going to stamp again down a little bit without re-inking. I'm going to do that again. Okay, so I'm going to move this. Okay, don't worry about where I've gone down below. That's where this piece comes in. Remember, I wanted to save that from my last card. I'm planning on using it on this one. So I'm taking my blender pen now, and I'm just pulling in that color. And pull in some of that green as well. I'm going to put my glue on here. And then I'll just trim off the excess. I'm going to take this piece that I just cut, and I'm going to tear it towards me. So I get a nice torn look, and this is going to get layered on the piece I just glued down. So I'm going to use my stamping blends for coloring. I'm going to use my light and dark Sweet Sorbet for the sled. I'm going to start with my light. My dark. I'm actually going to do dark on the horse's, you know, halter thing. I'm pulling in my smoky slate, light and dark. I'm going to use that for the horse. In my color lifter, and I'm just gonna pull some of these colors up a bit. Now I'm bringing in my light and dark Lost Lagoon, and I'm gonna do this for the lady's dress, or her coat I should say, her blanket. Just gonna do it all the same color. Her hat. And I'm using my light and dark Old Olive for the man's coat. I'm using Lemon Lime Twist for these gifts. I'm going to pull in my dark Highland Heather. And put some of that on this one as well. I'm bringing in my dark basic black, and I'm going to do that for this man's mittens. And not sure what that is, but I'm going to do that too. I'm using the SU 800 for the skin. Oh, and I'm going to use my, let's see what we got here, dark pebbled path. Let's just use that for this part of the horse. And his ears too. So this is a cool stamp right in here that I'm going to kind of curve on my block a bit. I'm going to curve it because I want to make a little bit of a hill. Don't want it to be too straight. That is going to go, I think, right there. I'm going to stamp that with Pool Party. I'm going to stamp off on some scrap paper first. And bring in my mask. Off. And then stamp right on top of that mask. And right in there as well, why not? Take my blending pen and just pull some of that blue down. And that's kind of going to be my snow. Time to do some sponging. Pulling in my early espresso. And a blender brush. And I'm just going to sponge right around the edges. I've decided my card base is going to be Old Olive. Here's one of the scraps trimmed off from one of the cards I made earlier. So I'm going to turn that into a banner. So I'm going to stamp this with the Sweet Sorbet. Turn this into a little flagged banner. So I'm just going to do that to one end. Put that on with a couple of dimensionals. I should probably sponge that little edge. So we'll do that. Bring in my snowflakes again. This time I'm going to do the white snowflakes. White on white, I think. And my rhinestones. And there is that card done. I hope you enjoyed these 4 cards that I've just spontaneously made during this video. It's a really beautiful, fun collection to play with. So don't forget, July 6th, these become available through our online exclusives, and the link will be listed down below. And these products are only available while supplies last. They may come back, they may not. So don't delay if this is something you want to order. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these cards. Happy stamping!